The day Earth changed forever started like any other. People went about their daily lives, unaware of the impending doom that lurked just beyond the planet's atmosphere. It was a warm summer afternoon when the first signs of trouble appeared. Jane Smith, a young office worker in New York City, was the first to notice something odd. She looked up from her computer screen and saw a strange shimmer in the sky. At first, she thought it was just her tired eyes playing tricks on her. But as she squinted and focused, she realized the shimmer was growing larger. "Hey guys, come look at this," Jane called out to her coworkers. They gathered by the window, their faces a mix of curiosity and concern. Suddenly, the shimmer transformed into a massive spacecraft, materializing out of thin air. It was unlike anything they had ever seen, sleek, metallic, and impossibly large. As they watched in awe, more ships appeared, filling the sky with their ominous presence. Panic spread quickly through the city. People poured out onto the streets, pointing and shouting at the alien vessels hovering above them. Traffic came to a standstill as drivers abandoned their cars to gawk at the extraordinary sight. Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., President Sarah Johnson was rushed to a secure bunker. Her advisors crowded around her, their faces pale with fear. "Madam President, we're detecting similar ships appearing all over the globe," General Mark Thompson reported, his voice tense. "Our military bases are on high alert, but we have no idea what we're dealing with." Before the president could respond, every screen in the bunker flickered to life. The face that appeared was clearly not human. It had purple skin, large black eyes, and no visible mouth. "People of Earth," the alien's voice boomed, seemed to come from everywhere at once. "We are the Galactic Council. Your planet is now under our control. Resistance is futile." As the message repeated in every language on Earth, chaos erupted. In major cities around the world, people ran for cover as smaller alien ships descended from the mother vessels. These ships emitted a strange blue light that swept across the landscape. Dr. Robert Chen, a brilliant physicist at MIT, watched in horror as the blue light passed over his lab. Suddenly, all of his equipment went dead. Computers, phones, even battery-operated devices. Nothing worked. "They're disabling our technology," he shouted to his colleagues. "We need to save what we can." But it was too late. Within hours, Earth's most advanced technology had been rendered useless. Military bases found their weapons inoperable. Power grids failed, plunging cities into darkness. The world's communications networks fell silent. In the following days, alien troops began to appear on the streets. They were tall, imposing figures in sleek armor, carrying weapons that looked like something out of a science fiction movie. They moved swiftly, setting up outposts in major cities and strategic locations. Despite the aliens' warning, pockets of resistance formed quickly. In a small town in the Midwest, Sheriff Tom Baker rallied his deputies and local hunters. "We may not have fancy weapons anymore," he told the determined group, "but we know this land better than any alien ever could. We'll fight with whatever we've got." Similar scenes played out across the globe. Humanity, faced with an overwhelming threat, refused to go down without a fight. A week after the invasion began, the Galactic Council issued another broadcast. This time, a different alien appeared, one with blue skin and 4 eyes. "Humans," it said, its tone condescending, "your planet is now a protectorate of the Galactic Council. We will guide your development until you are ready to join galactic society. Comply, and you will be treated fairly. Resist, and face the consequences." As the broadcast ended, a sense of grim determination settled over the people of Earth. In hidden bunkers, secret meetings, and whispered conversations, a message spread. This is not the end. This is just the beginning. Earth will not fall without a fight. Little did the Galactic Council know, they had just awakened a sleeping giant. The fierce retaliation of humanity was about to begin, and it would shake the very foundations of galactic civilization. 3 months after the alien invasion, Earth was a changed world. Cities lay in darkness, and people struggled to adapt to life without modern technology. But beneath the surface, a spark of resistance burned bright. In the ruins of New York City, Jane Smith crouched in a dimly lit basement. She was no longer just an office worker. Now she was a key member of the underground resistance. "Okay, everyone," Jane whispered to the group gathered around her. "Dr. Chen's team has made a breakthrough. We need to get this information to all our cells." Jane handed out small handwritten notes. In a world without phones or internet, old-fashioned methods had become their lifeline. Meanwhile, in a hidden lab beneath the MIT campus, Dr. Robert Chen worked tirelessly. His team had managed to salvage some equipment before the aliens' technology disabling sweep. Now they were close to understanding how the alien weapons worked. "It's not magic," Dr. Chen explained to his exhausted colleagues. "It's just very, very advanced science. But we're starting to crack it." Suddenly, the lab door burst open. A young woman with wild eyes and disheveled hair rushed in. "Dr. Chen," she gasped. "I'm Dr. Sarah Chen, your niece. I've been trying to reach you for weeks." The elder Chen embraced his niece, relief washing over him. "Sarah, thank goodness you're alive. But how did you find us?" Sarah's eyes gleamed with excitement. "Uncle, I've made a discovery. I think I know how to disable the aliens' cloaking systems." As the Chens shared their findings, hope began to grow in the hidden lab. For the first time since the invasion, humanity had a chance to fight back. Across the ocean, in the mountains of Switzerland, another part of the resistance was taking shape. Captain Hans Müller, a former Swiss Army officer, led a group of survivors in guerrilla tactics against the alien patrols. "Remember," Hans told his fighters as they prepared for a raid, "we're not trying to defeat them. We just need to gather intel and retreat quickly." The group moved silently through the forest, their homemade camouflage blending with the trees. As they approached an alien outpost, they saw something that made them pause. Two different alien species were arguing loudly. One was purple-skinned, like the first alien they had seen on the broadcasts. The other was green with 6 limbs. "This is not what we agreed to," the green alien shouted. "The humans were supposed to be peaceful. This resistance is causing problems across the galaxy." Hans and his team exchanged glances. This was valuable information. The Galactic Council was not as united as they had thought. Back in America, President Sarah Johnson had finally managed to establish a secure base of operations in an old nuclear bunker. She gathered her most trusted advisors, including General Thompson. "We're getting reports from all over the world," the general said. "The resistance is growing. People are fighting back with whatever they have." President Johnson nodded grimly. "But it's not enough. We need a game changer." As if on cue, a young soldier burst into the room. "Madam President, we've just received a coded message from MIT. Dr. Chen says they figured out how to disable the alien cloaking technology." A spark of hope ignited in the room. This could be the break they needed. "Get me in touch with every resistance cell we know of," the president ordered. "It's time to coordinate our first major counterattack." As plans were set in motion, the mood on Earth began to shift. People who had been living in fear started to stand tall again. In secret gatherings and hidden meetings, the word spread. Humanity was about to fight back. In their ships above the Earth, the aliens of the Galactic Council remained unaware of the storm that was brewing. They had underestimated the resilience and ingenuity of humans. They had no idea that their supposedly secure technology had been compromised. As the resistance prepared for their first major strike, a sense of anticipation filled the air. The time had come for Earth to show the galaxy what humans were truly capable of. The stage was set for a battle that would change the course of galactic history. Earth's fierce retaliation was about to begin, and the Galactic Council would never know what hit them. The day of humanity's first major counterattack dawned bright and clear. In hidden bases around the world, resistance fighters prepared for the most important battle of their lives. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in front of a makeshift assembly of scientists and soldiers. Her hands shook slightly as she held up a small device. "This," she said, her voice strong despite her nerves, "is what we've been working on. It's a pulse emitter that will disrupt the aliens' cloaking technology." A murmur of excitement ran through the crowd. Sarah continued, "Once their ships are visible, we can target them with the weapons we've reverse-engineered from their own technology." In Washington, D.C., President Johnson addressed her War Council. "Today, we show the Galactic Council that Earth is not to be trifled with," she said, her eyes blazing with determination. "General Thompson, are our forces ready?" The general nodded. "Yes, Madam President. Resistance cells worldwide are standing by. We're as ready as we'll ever be." As the humans prepared, the aliens remained oblivious to the impending attack. In the main ship hovering over New York City, Commander Zix of the purple-skinned Varksians was having an argument with Diplomat Glue of the green six-limbed Zentarans. "These humans are more trouble than they're worth," Zix growled. "We should just wipe them out and be done with it." Glue waved his upper limbs in agitation. "That's exactly the kind of thinking that's caused problems across the galaxy. The Council's mandate is to guide species, not destroy them." Their argument was interrupted by a sudden alarm. The ship's sensors were detecting an unusual energy signature coming from the planet's surface. Before either alien could react, a pulse of energy washed over their ship. Suddenly, warning lights flashed everywhere. "We've lost cloaking," a Varksian technician shouted. "All ships are reporting the same." Zix and Glue rushed to the view screen. To their horror, they saw their entire fleet, now fully visible, hanging in the sky over Earth's major cities. On the ground, Jane Smith stood with a group of resistance fighters in Central Park. When the alien ships flickered into view, a cheer went up from the crowd. "It worked," Jane shouted into her radio. "All units, commence attack." Across the globe, similar scenes played out. In the Swiss Alps, Captain Hans Mueller and his team launched salvaged alien weapons at the now visible ships. In Tokyo, a group led by tech expert Hiroshi Tanaka used hacked alien drones to swarm the larger vessels. The aliens, caught completely off guard, scrambled to mount a defense. But the humans had the element of surprise on their side. In orbit, the Galactic Council's command ship was in chaos. The Council members watched in disbelief as reports flooded in from all over the planet. "How is this possible?" demanded the counselor from Varks. "These primitives shouldn't be able to penetrate our technology." The Zentaran counselor's multiple eyes blinked rapidly. "We may have underestimated them." Grossly. Back on Earth, the battle raged on. While the humans couldn't match the aliens in terms of firepower, their surprise attack and knowledge of their own terrain gave them a significant advantage. In New York, Jane's team managed to bring down a small alien craft. As the smoke cleared, she approached the wreckage cautiously. The door of the ship creaked open, and a wounded Varksian crawled out. Jane raised her weapon, then paused. The alien looked at her with an expression that, despite its alien features, she recognized as fear. In that moment, Jane made a decision that would change the course of the war. Instead of firing, she offered her hand to the injured alien. "We don't want to destroy you," she said firmly. "We just want our planet back. Tell your leaders we're willing to talk as equals." The Varksian, surprised by this act of mercy, took Jane's hand hesitantly. As the sun set on the first day of Earth's great counterattack, the tide had clearly turned. Humanity had proven itself a force to be reckoned with, capable of not just fighting back, but also showing compassion in victory. In the Galactic Council's ship, the mood was somber. They had underestimated humanity, and now they faced a choice: escalate the conflict or open diplomatic channels with this surprisingly resourceful species. As reports of human victories and instances of mercy flooded in, it became clear that the Council's plans for Earth would need to change dramatically. The humans had earned their place at the galactic table, and nothing would ever be the same again. In the weeks following Earth's successful counterattack, The planet buzzed with a mix of excitement and tension. Humans had tasted victory, but the war was far from over. Jane Smith stood before a group of world leaders, including President Johnson, in a hastily assembled war room beneath the ruins of the United Nations building in New York. "The alien we captured, who calls himself Zarn, has been cooperative," Jane reported. "He's given us valuable information about the Galactic Council's structure and technology." President Johnson leaned forward, her eyes sharp. "And what have we learned?" Dr. Robert Chen stepped up, his niece Sarah by his side. "We've confirmed that the Council consists of representatives from various alien races. They're not as united as they want us to believe. Some, like the Varksians, want to subdue us completely. Others, like the Zentarans, prefer a more diplomatic approach. More importantly," Sarah added, "we've made significant progress in adapting their technology for our use. We can now not only disable their cloaking systems, but also partially shield ourselves from their scans." A murmur of approval ran through the room. For the first time since the invasion, Earth had a real chance to fight back on equal terms. Meanwhile, in orbit above Earth, the Galactic Council was in turmoil. The Varksian counselor pounded his fist on the table. "We must crush these humans now, before they become an even greater threat," he roared. The Zentaran counselor's multiple limbs waved in agitation, "and risk turning the entire galaxy against us. We've already violated our own protocols by invading a developing world. If we escalate further, other races might rebel." As the argument raged on, a junior officer nervously approached the council table. "Esteemed counselors," he said, his voice shaking, "we've detected unusual energy signatures from the planet's surface. It appears the humans are launching something into space." On Earth, at a secret base in the Movav Desert, Captain Hans Mueller watched with pride as the first human-built spaceship incorporating alien technology rose into the sky. "Godspeed, Horizon 1, he whispered as the ship disappeared into the clouds. Aboard the Horizon 1, a crew of Earth's best pilots and scientists prepared for humanity's first journey beyond their solar system. Their mission: to make contact with other alien races and seek allies against the Galactic Council. Dr. Sarah Chen, who had insisted on joining the mission, looked out the viewport in awe as Earth shrank behind them. "We're really doing it," she breathed. "We're taking the fight to them." The ship's captain, a former NASA astronaut named Michael Torres, nodded grimly. "Let's just hope we find some friendlies out there. We're going to need all the help we can get." As Horizon 1 accelerated towards the unknown, Earth continued to strengthen its defenses. In laboratories and workshops around the world, scientists and engineers worked tirelessly to incorporate alien technology into human weapons and shields. In Switzerland, Captain Mueller led training sessions for a new generation of space fighters. "Remember," he told his eager recruits, "in space, there's no up or down. You need to think in 3 dimensions at all times." President Johnson, meanwhile, was preparing for a different kind of battle. With the help of Jane and the cooperative alien Zarn, she was drafting a message to be broadcast across the galaxy. "People of the galactic community," the message began, "we are the humans of Earth. We were invaded, but we have fought back. We do not seek war, but we will defend ourselves. We call upon those who believe in justice and self-determination to stand with us against the tyranny of the Galactic Council." As the message was sent out on all frequencies, using the advanced communication technology gleaned from the captured alien ships, Earth held its breath. Would anyone answer their call? In the vast expanse of the galaxy, countless alien civilizations received Earth's message. Some dismissed it outright. Others listened with interest. And a few, a crucial few, began to consider the possibility of aligning themselves with this upstart race that had dared to challenge the mighty Galactic Council. As Horizon 1 ventured further into space and Earth's defenses grew stronger by the day, one thing became clear: the galaxy would never be the same again. The age of Earth's isolation was over. Whether as victors or as a cautionary tale, Humans were now irrevocably part of the larger cosmic community, and the Galactic Council, watching with increasing alarm, realized that their easy conquest had turned into a nightmare of galactic proportions. The real war was just beginning. 3 months had passed since Earth sent its message to the stars. The planet was a hive of activity, preparing for whatever response might come. In a secret underground base in Tokyo, Jane Smith stood before a massive holographic display. Dots of light represented Earth's growing fleet of ships and defense satellites. "Our orbital defense network is at 60% capacity," she reported to the gathered world leaders. "We're as ready as we can be for now." President Johnson nodded, her face grim. "And what news from Horizon 1? Before Jane could answer, alarms blared throughout the facility. A technician shouted, multiple ships dropping out of faster-than-light travel near Mars. Everyone held their breath, wondering if this was the start of another invasion. But then, a message came through that changed everything. "This is Captain Torres of Horizon 1, came the crackling transmission. "We've made contact with friendly aliens. They're here to help." Cheers erupted in the command center. On the main screen, they saw Horizon 1 leading a fleet of sleek, unfamiliar ships towards Earth. As the alien ships entered orbit, their leader requested permission to land and meet with Earth's representatives. The chosen location was the historic Giza Plateau in Egypt, with the ancient pyramids serving as a backdrop to this momentous occasion. President Johnson, flanked by Jane Smith and Dr. Robert Chen, stood ready to greet Earth's new allies. A shimmer of light appeared, and 3 alien beings materialized before them. The first was tall and slender, with iridescent skin that seemed to change color in the sunlight. "I am Ambassador Zell of the Lumine," it said in a melodious voice. "We have long opposed the Galactic Council's methods." The second alien was shorter and stockier, with 4 arms and a face that looked surprisingly like an Earth octopus. "Greetings, humans. I am General Croc of the Cephalon Confederation. Your bravery has impressed us." The third alien was unlike anything the humans had ever seen. A swirling mass of energy barely contained in a humanoid form. It spoke directly into their minds. "We are the Ethereals. Your species has great potential. We will help you unlock it." As human scientists and diplomats began to interact with their new alien allies, incredible advancements were made. The Lumine shared their mastery of light-based technologies, improving Earth's communication and energy systems. The Cephalons provided advanced weaponry and shield technology, and the Ethereals began teaching select humans how to harness latent psychic abilities. Meanwhile, in the depths of space, Horizon 1 continued its mission. Captain Torres and Dr. Sarah Chen had become ambassadors in their own right, seeking out other civilizations oppressed or threatened by the Galactic Council. On a distant planet of perpetual twilight, they made contact with the Shadowkin, a race of stealthy beings who had long evaded the Council's notice. "Your struggle is our struggle," the Shadowkin leader told them. "We will share our cloaking technology with Earth." As news of Earth's growing alliance spread across the galaxy, the Galactic Council found itself facing a crisis. More and more races were beginning to question their authority. In a tense council meeting, the Varksian representative raged, "We must crush this rebellion now, before it's too late." But the Zentaran councillor countered, "Perhaps it's time we reconsidered our approach. These humans and their allies may have valid grievances." As the council argued, Earth and its new allies prepared for the inevitable confrontation. In shipyards orbiting the moon, humans worked alongside aliens to build a fleet capable of challenging the Council's dominance. On Earth, cities were being rebuilt with advanced alien technology. Glittering skyscrapers of luminane crystal rose alongside Cephalon-designed defense systems, and in hidden academies, the first human psychics trained with ethereal mentors, learning to tap into the fundamental energies of the universe. Jane Smith, now Earth's chief diplomat to its alien allies, stood atop the newly constructed Unity Tower in New York. She looked out at the transformed skyline, marveling at how far they had come. "We started as victims, She murmured to herself, "But now we're leading a galactic revolution." As if in response to her words, the sky lit up with the arrival of more alien ships, new allies coming to join Earth's cause. The stage was set for a conflict that would determine the fate of not just Earth, but the entire galaxy. The Galactic Council's days of unchallenged rule were numbered, and at the heart of the coming storm stood humanity, no longer helpless, but a force that would reshape the cosmic order. The day of reckoning had arrived. Earth and its allies were ready to confront the Galactic Council directly. A massive fleet of ships from various races, led by Earth's flagship Unity, approached the Council's home system. On the bridge of Unity, Captain Michael Torres stood tall, flanked by Jane Smith and Dr. Sarah Chen. Representatives from their alien allies were also present. Ambassador Zell of the Luminae, General Croc of the Cephalons, and an ethereal envoy. "We're entering the Council's space," Torres announced. "All ships, be ready for anything." As if on cue, a swarm of Council ships appeared, surrounding the Allied fleet. "Incoming transmission," a crew member called out. The main screen flickered to life, showing the faces of the Galactic Council. The Varxian counselor spoke first, his purple face twisted with anger. "This is your last chance to surrender," he snarled. "You have no idea of the forces you're dealing with." Jane stepped forward, her voice calm but firm. "We're not here to fight. We're here to demand change. The Council's tyranny ends today." Suddenly, alarms blared across the ship. The Varxian had given a secret signal, and the Council's fleet opened fire. "Shields up," Torres shouted. "All ships, engage defensive maneuvers." The space around them erupted into chaos. Beams of energy crisscrossed the void. Explosions bloomed like silent flowers. But Earth and its allies were prepared. The Luminae ships danced between enemy fire, their light-based weapons blinding Council gunners. Cephalon vessels unleashed barrages of advanced missiles, and the Ethereals used their psychic powers to confuse and disorient enemy crews. In the thick of the battle, Dr. Sarah Chen worked furiously at her console. "I'm detecting a weak point in their flagship's defenses," she called out. "If we can get a small team aboard, we might be able to end this quickly." Jane's eyes lit up. "I have an idea," she said, turning to the Shadowkin representative. "Can your cloaking technology get us past their shields?" The Shadowkin nodded, its shadowy form rippling with excitement. Within minutes, a stealth shuttle carrying Jane, Sarah, and a mix of human and alien commandos slipped away from Unity. Using the Shadowkin's advanced cloaking, they passed through the Council's defenses undetected. Once aboard the Council's flagship, the team moved swiftly through the corridors. Their mission: to reach the main control room and force the Council to stand down. As they neared their goal, they encountered resistance. Council guards opened fire, but the team was ready. Human soldiers fought alongside Cephalon warriors, while the ethereal allies used their psychic abilities to confuse the enemy. Jane and Sarah pushed ahead, finally reaching the control room. They burst in, weapons ready, only to find the Council members arguing among themselves. "Enough," Jane shouted, her voice cutting through the alien babble. "This ends now." The Varxian counselor reached for a weapon, but Sarah was faster. A burst from her reverse-engineered alien gun left the Varxian's arm smoking. "Listen to us," Sarah pleaded with the other counselors. "This war is pointless. We don't want to destroy you. We want to work together, as equals." The Zentaran counselor, who had always been more sympathetic to other races, stepped forward. Perhaps it is time for a change," he said slowly. Outside, the battle raged on. But within the Council chamber, a different kind of confrontation was taking place. Jane and Sarah, along with their alien allies, presented their case for a new galactic order, one based on cooperation and mutual respect rather than domination. Hours passed. The fighting outside gradually died down as word spread that negotiations were underway. Finally, Jane emerged from the Council chamber, her face tired but triumphant. She opened a channel to the entire fleet. "Today marks a new beginning," she announced. "The Galactic Council has agreed to reform. A new governing body will be formed, with representatives from all races, including humanity." Cheers erupted across the Allied fleet. On Unity's bridge, Captain Torres let out a breath he didn't realize he'd been holding. As the news spread across the galaxy, celebrations broke out on countless worlds. The age of the Council's tyranny was over. A new era of galactic cooperation was dawning, with Earth and its allies at the forefront. The humans who had once been seen as primitive newcomers had reshaped the political landscape of the entire galaxy. And this was only the beginning of their cosmic journey. 5 years had passed since the historic battle that reshaped galactic politics. The former Galactic Council headquarters, once a symbol of oppression, had been transformed into the Galactic Alliance Center. Today it buzzed with activity as representatives from hundreds of worlds gathered for a momentous occasion. Jane Smith, now serving as Earth's ambassador to the Galactic Alliance, stood on a platform alongside leaders from various alien races. Before them stretched a sea of diverse beings, a testament to the new era of cooperation. "Fellow citizens of the galaxy," Jane began, her voice carrying across the Grand Chamber. "Today we celebrate 5 years of peace and progress under the Galactic Alliance. We've come so far since the days of conflict, and our future shines brighter than ever." As Jane spoke, scenes from across the galaxy played on giant screens behind her. They showed joint scientific projects, cultural exchanges, and flourishing trade between once divided worlds. In one corner of the chamber, Dr. Sarah Chen watched with pride. She led a team of multi-species scientists, their latest project displayed holographically before them, a device capable of terraforming barren planets, bringing life to dead worlds. With this technology, Sarah explained to a group of fascinated aliens, we can create new homes for species whose planets have been damaged or destroyed. It's a step towards healing the scars of past conflicts. Meanwhile, on Earth, the planet had undergone a remarkable transformation. Cities gleamed with a blend of human ingenuity and alien technology. In what was once New York City, now stood New Terra, a sprawling metropolis that served as a model for human-alien coexistence. Captain Michael Torres, now Admiral of Earth's growing space fleet, stood atop the Unity Tower, watching ships from a dozen worlds come and go from the orbital spaceport. He smiled, remembering the days when the sight of an alien ship brought only fear. "Admiral," a young officer approached, "the first group of human colonists is ready to depart for the Andromeda Galaxy. They're asking if you'd like to say a few words." Torres nodded, marveling at how far humanity had come. From defending their own planet to now spreading across the stars. Back at the Galactic Alliance Center, the ceremony continued. Representatives from former council races stepped forward, each expressing remorse for past actions and commitment to the new order. The Varxian speaker, once a fierce advocate for Earth's subjugation, now spoke of mutual understanding. "We were wrong to fear difference," he admitted. "Through cooperation, we've all grown stronger." As the day's events neared their conclusion, a special moment arrived. The Ethereals, their energy forms shimmering, presented a gift to the Alliance, a massive crystalline structure that pulsed with soft light. "This is the Harmony Spire." The ethereal and voice thoughts resonated in everyone's minds. "It will serve as a psychic beacon, allowing instantaneous communication across the galaxy, a symbol of our united future." As the spire was activated, a wave of unity washed over the gathered beings. For a moment, every individual in the chamber felt connected, their hopes and dreams intertwined. Jane stepped forward once more, her eyes glistening with emotion. "Let this moment remind us of what we've achieved and inspire us towards even greater heights. The galaxy is vast, but together, there's no challenge we cannot overcome." The chamber erupted in applause and various alien equivalents of cheering. Species that once would have been mortal enemies now stood side by side, united in purpose. As the celebration continued, Jane found a quiet moment to reflect. She thought back to that day in New York when the alien ships first appeared. How hopeless it had seemed then. Now, humanity wasn't just surviving, it was thriving, a key player in a galactic community. The future held endless possibilities. There were still challenges to face, rogue elements that resisted the new order, unexplored regions of space that held unknown dangers and wonders. But Earth and its allies were ready to face whatever came next. As Jane looked out at the stars, visible through the Alliance Center's giant windows, she felt a sense of pride and anticipation. Humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning, and the greatest adventures lay ahead. The Earth had not just survived its trial by fire. It had emerged as a beacon of hope for the entire galaxy. The fierce retaliation that had stunned the Galactic Council had led to a peace and unity beyond anyone's wildest dreams. And somewhere out there, new worlds, new species, and new challenges awaited. The next chapter of galactic history was about to unfold, with humanity ready to play its part in shaping the cosmos.